Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Valeria and this is the off-road range. Honestly talking, today my mood is quite bad. It is the middle of the winter and I still take shower outside in my plastic summer shower, and the building of the local treatment station is very slow, and today it is snowfall and I have a headache. So today, I think that today will be quite sad video about real life. I have lots of difficulties, I have lots of stress and I spent a lot of my nerves, and I have mess on my range and everything is very difficult. Today I will prepare a place for the third container and I really need it because I don't have place for other materials. This container is full of rebar and I also need some wood material. So let's go. I need to work anyway, of course. In order to install the container, I need a foundation. The first time I used some old oak that was here even before me. The second time I used leftovers from piles that left after the construction of the box of my house. So for today I bought some old used piles and I need to cut them because I need 12 piles. 6 piles for each side of the container. My favorite Metaba tool. So this is how the piles look like, and I shall measure them and cut. There are various types of discs for various material. For example, for steel, for aluminum, for brick, for concrete, and so on. This one is for concrete, of course. A few words about me for those who are first time on my channel. I live alone far away from the city and the convenience of civilization. 2 years ago, I bought on credit a small plot of land of 2,500 square meters and started building a dream place on my own. My plans are to build a big house, a garage where I will design jeeps, a bathhouse where I will relax after a hot day. I plan to grow an orchard, build an apiary and organize a pond where I will raise fish. I periodically show in my videos my income and expenses, and soon I will show a report for the whole year 2024. Today, 2 years later, I have 10,000 square meters and most of it is still under lease. I have a Jeep Grand Cherokee that is almost impossible to operate now. It is in urgent need of complete repair and modernization. I have a trailer that has paid for itself many times over, as I save on logistics. I have 7 hives, but only one of them has bees in it. I also have 2 shipping containers. What I need them for, I will share with you later. I think that here is rebar inside, so I need at least to change disc. So now I will cut it from all the sides till I will see the rebar. After that I will change the disc and I will continue. The first aim I immediately had after buying the land was to build a place where I could at least survive. In 2 years I managed to build a box of a small house of 30 square meters, so I would have somewhere to live. It still has no water, no laminate flooring, no household appliances. I sleep in a sleeping bag on the rough floor, store things in plastic bags, and take shower in a summer plastic shower. Yes, I wash outside in winter. They're too old. I don't need to cut anymore. I consider that my experience with cutting concrete piles is successful. Let's continue. Now my mood is much better. Now I have the task of bringing water to the house and diverting organic waste to the septic tank. But since I plan a lot of activities on the off-road range, and I plan to live here for the rest of my life, I will have high water consumption and a lot of waste. So I have set myself the task of purifying organic waste to technical water at 98% and reusing natural resources many times over. I was trying so hard that I don't have my trousers anymore. Oh, I don't need any tools. I can do it with my own strong hands. Ah, here I have the same situation. There's also some rebar left in the center. Okay. Okay. So here the local treatment station will be situated. And this is the place where the third container will be situated. It is still some old garden here. There is a lot of garbage here, a lot of glass as usual. There are several piles of garbage covered with snow. Some plastic bottles, because people don't care about planet at all. So despite the fact that it is winter, I still need my chainsaw, and currently I will be cleaning all this territory to prepare it for the third container. So, I need a water supply to the house and a waste disposal to the local treatment station, which will fully recycle it into clean water. Recycling waste is a much more complicated task than supplying water. So I started by building a local treatment plant. In the video number 78, I showed how it will look like. In short, it consists of several concrete tanks where oxygen is constantly supplied and waste is circulated. Thus, several types of bacteria live in the local treatment station. They decompose the waste to pure water. After processing the waste, the clean water will be stored in a special filtration well, and I will use it for watering the garden, for building other objects such as fans, and even for drinking, if I install additional filters. Whoa, here is some concrete plate, a big concrete piece. So this is the clean territory that I have now. The container will be situated like that. This bottle is the left corner of the container. That bottle is the right corner of the container. And the container itself will be situated like that. So, let's talk about my containers. I purchased my first container to use as storage. Of course, I cannot store in the house chainsaw, lawnmower, drainage pump, tick sprayer, cables for organizing light or electricity, shovels, axe, and a bunch of other tools. In addition, the container stores laminate, insulation, metal barrels for future use, hives I need to repair, and many other things. Buying a container is the most rational, fastest, long-lasting, and cheapest solution for organizing an enclosed, dry, secure place. I needed a second container when I started designing the local treatment station. I couldn't work outside and store materials there. This is acceptable in the summer on hot days under an awning so they don't get wet with rain, but not in the fall and winter. Especially you can see in the video number 83 how much space is needed for marking out rebar. Moreover, by storing materials in containers, you can rest assured that nothing will be stolen from you. Of course, there are ways to break into a container as well, but that's another story. So what do I need the third container for? Again, I need it for the work. I can try and feed the materials into two containers if I load them to the top and unload the laminate into the house. But the thing is, I need to work inside the container with rebar for the local treatment station metal frame and other materials. I want to do this regardless of weather conditions, so I need enough space. In addition to the amount of material and the need of working space, there is reason number 3 for buying a container. There is about 70 meters between container with rebar and the future local treatment station. Can you imagine what it would be like to carry a welded mesh of rebar weighing several hundred kilograms? I cannot. I don't have special equipment that will transport the materials. Therefore, after the cutting of the rebar is completed, Its welding and storage will take place directly near the local treatment station, where the new container will stand, and welded metal frame will be stored there. I shall change the battery. It took me a few days to prepare the piles. This is my first experience cutting with an angle grinder, so the first times I cut crooked and askew. Later I got used to cutting from all sides step by step, moving along the drawn line. I was lucky that sometimes the rebar inside the piles broke apart by itself, so I worked faster. It was the last one. I need a break. After preparing the piles, I need to make a base out of them. I use 12 pieces, 6 on each side to evenly distribute the load and prevent the container from sagging. If you think that a few small blocks will be enough for you, in my opinion, that is the wrong decision. Over time your container will sag, and even if you cannot see it with your eye, you will definitely realize it when one day your doors will stop opening or closing. Because not only the bottom, but the whole supporting structure will warp, which means that the hinges and doors will change their angles and plans, and will not come together. Or one day after rain you will find water in the container, because the doors will not fit tightly to each other, to the ceiling and to the floor. And if you also in addition load the container with material, as I put 3 tons of rebar on one side, then the container can skew even more. Therefore, it is very important that the container stands flat. For the base of the first container, I used old timbers. I found logs of 1 diameter and prepared the place of installation in advance. For the base of the second container, I used leftover piles that I used for the construction of the box of the house. For the base of the third container, I had neither suitable wood nor piles. So I found old leftover piles on the internet, and I thought this was a good option. I worked late into the night, and the heavy equipment and the container arrived at 7 a.m. So I am looking tired. So in the morning it turned out that there is not enough place for 2 heavy machines and the container. So we had to clean twice more urgently. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the next day of work, and the installation of the previous container was difficult. Today was extremely difficult. It is minus 15 degrees Celsius. It is snowfall. It was impossible to work, impossible to drive. There was not enough space for heavy machines to stay, and I had to free some space. So currently the territory looks like that. There is lots of garbage. This is that old well that I will work with. The container itself looks like that. And I know that many YouTubers are always in a good mood, work with enthusiasm and always full of energy, but honestly talking, I just want to cry because everything's so difficult and there is lots of work ahead, and I'm sick, I have sore throat, my nose is, you see it, and I have a headache. So let's work, because today I also have some work. My next stage of work is to place a workbench and pallets inside the container. The workbench is needed for working with rebar, as I said, and the pallets are needed for storage. These pallets were heavier than the previous ones. That is why the whole process took a lot of time. Whoa! This container seems to be better than two previous. But firstly, I will clean it, and after that I will inspect it since I don't have lots of time. When buying a container, take note of the fact that you are only paying for the container. Besides it, you have to pay separately for delivery, separately for installation, and separately for the work of a slinger who will fix the ropes on the container and control accurate installation. Pay attention to the quality of the driveway and the place for two large machines. If it is soil, it should be dense. If it is a yard, the machine should be able to freely drive in and stand where they need. It is highly recommended that materials and tools are not stored on the floor of the container. There should be a ventilated space between the materials and the floor. Standard size pallets are ideal to put them right and left, on each side of the container, with some space to walk between them. This is the method I use in the container that is my warehouse. In the container where I cut rebar, there are pallets only on one side and I store a bar there. And on the other side I store workbenches and leftover lumber. I also put the new pallets in there to dry out and prevent from rotting outside in the winter. The new pallets are larger than standard size, so using them on both sides will be less convenient. However, they were very cheap and they will come in handy on the off-road range anyway. So the condition of the container is pretty good, but there is one small hole on the ceiling. We cannot see it now, but if I will have time, I will show you in the daytime. As I told, I use pallets for various purposes. So recently I bought like 30 more pallets since I need them everywhere. You could see their cost in the video number 79, I think. It was the end of November and I published my expenses and profit for 5 months. So it is 10 p.m. and another piece of material that is coming to me is OSB. If you don't know what it is, now you will know. OSB is oriented strand board. It consists of several layers of wood chips glued together with various resins, synthetic waxes, and other substances. OSB is very widely used in construction and has several classes. OSB of the first type is used for furniture, cladding, packaging. OSB of the second type is used in the manufacture of load-bearing structures in dry rooms, such as for the walls of houses, for floors like mine. Type 3 and 4 OSB is used for supporting structures in high humidity conditions. Why do I need OSB for? In order to create a local treatment station, I need to create concrete structure, so I need a formwork, a structure where I will pour the concrete in. OSB is widely used to create formwork. Of course, I bought moisture-resistant OSB. Moreover, after the construction process, I want to save them and reuse them in the future. If you use OSB for yourself, remember that different types of OSB have different resin content, which affect the characteristics. It is very dangerous to use moisture-resistant OSB in a permanent residence. In total, 100 square meters of thickets were cut down for the installation of the container, and that's dozens and dozens of trees. All of them were unfruitful. I've been adoring them for several years, and even if there were some fruit there, they were small and sour, so cutting them down was scheduled for later anyway. But it happened now. The trees were everywhere, because I was sowing urgently when the heavy machinery had already arrived, as it turned out that there was not enough space for them. So after the container was installed, trees were everywhere, and it was impossible to walk through. I spent 3 days sowing trees and cleaning them non-stop from morning till night. Also, I had to pay extra for the downtime of heavy machinery. There is a lot of work every day, all day long. Some people say that I don't speak a lot on my videos, but what can I say? I just work, and that's all. I explain some difficult processes and the logic of my work, but sometimes my work is routine and obvious, and there is nothing to say. This is the mess left after installing the container, and the container itself you might see somewhere there. So I finished my work almost in the dark, and now you can understand that sometimes some work can take just a few hours, and sometimes it might take a week or even months, especially if you work from scratch. And sometimes installing the container is not just an easy job when you just install the container on the ready foundation, but a huge amount of work. And you cannot just make just part of work and everything left how it is. You should do everything right and clean. So now I have my third container, and I have new material in it. Dear friends, wish me good luck, wish me fast and easy work, and wish me good weather in order to realize my plans faster. It was Valeria, the off-road range. I wish you all the best, and see you soon.